I'm Lindsay Worthington. I'm an associate professor at the University of New Mexico, and I'm a seismologist, and I focus mostly on crustal structure and deformation at continental plate boundaries. As a kid and growing up through middle school and high school, I always wanted to do something with math and science. But I never knew that geology was even an option during those times. And then I went to college in the Bay Area at Berkeley, where there's a lot of earthquakes. And so I just thought it would be interesting to try to study earthquakes using physics and math. And so I found geophysics. So I basically use seismology to take X-rays of the Earth. And you can do that by, you can look at whole Earth systems. I tend to look at higher resolution. And so we use earthquakes, and also we set off our own sources. So sometimes I go on a ship, and behind the ship we tow an air gun array that basically sets off like these little earthquakes as you go along, and then you can listen to those. And then the energy from an earthquake or from your air gun or from an explosion, it travels through the Earth and it bounces off different layers in the Earth, and it travels at different speeds in the Earth. And then you can record those on a seismometer, an instrument, and then you can basically make a picture of what the Earth's subsurface looks like. A current project I have is imaging a strike-slip fault that's offshore Southeast Alaska and Western Canada. And it's sort of an analog to the San Andreas Fault. So it's a fault where the Pacific Plate and the North American Plate are moving side by side. And one big question we have there is why do certain types of earthquakes happen there versus other places? And so if you want to understand those things, you have to get a good picture of what the subsurface of the Earth actually looks like. And so you can look at kind of the width of the fault zone, or you can look at kind of deformation that has been built up over time. So different faults and different just geometries of what the structures look like, and say something about past and maybe even forecast future earthquakes. And so that's one big application. GeoPRISMS, to me, it really does mean community in a lot of ways. Having this interdisciplinary group of scientists all focusing on single questions or single processes has really opened up my science, and has really produced a lot of my most treasured and exciting collaborations. And I've seen other students and other early career people kind of move through that process, and I think it's been a really valuable resource for folks who are just starting out, or like I was 15 years ago, just starting out. I think that's really the hugest value. I really hope to be a good mentor and kind of pass on all the opportunities that were given to me. I feel like I was lucky to have really good mentors, both formally and informally, who gave me a lot of opportunities, and I really would like to pay that forward. If you find something that you really enjoy, whether or not other people do, you're gonna have that passion for it, and you're gonna get other people excited about it. Don't shy away from stuff that's hard. Sometimes the math and the physics can be really hard, and it may not seem as applicable to the problem that you're working on at the time, but you just have to really power through it and know that it's hard, but it doesn't mean that you can't do it.